What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 446 of Opinions May Vary. I'm your host, JR. Joining me, per usual, my co-host, Alex.
Hello.
I am sad excited. What's the proper adjective for that? Happy sad? I am bittersweet. I don't know.
Sad sight.
Don't blow your spot. You're going to blow your pop. Everyone's like, oh, now we know why. But waiting for me to shut up there's a reason for the happy sadness, because we have a couple episodes left, and it would be a crying shame. It would be a farce if we didn't feature this lovely gentleman one more time to say thanks, and also to pimp some stuff, because that's what we do here. We're here to promote our friends and cool things that we like, and it just so happens that one of our best friends in the entire world makes cool things for a living, and he's also arguably one of the main reasons the show even made it as long as it did. Joining us this week is the legendary, and I've said legendary before, but like, this man's a living OMV legend, is Mr. Brett Kelley.
Hello, gents.
It's
boys.
I can't believe this is happening. It's kind of like planning out the end is, well, obviously we have to talk to Brett. Obviously. And then it turns out Brett was also making something, which just enhanced the obviousness, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Sure.
Which is exciting times. But Brett, this goes all the way back. So we're in episode 446. There's a lot of episodes there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Brett's debut was episode 3.
Yeah.
I remember he sat next. It's the only time, excuse me, it's the only time to this day that I have ever shared a microphone during recording. was in that first episode. Brett sat directly to my left. We had no idea. It was when we had like a round table in my parents' basement. It was like a dining room table. And Brett and I passed a mic back and forth. Thinking of that, like, with all the COVID restrictions that we've been doing for 2 years, I'm like, oh my God, we were that close to each other sharing a microphone.
Yeah.
But it is to this day the only time I've shared a microphone with someone that I can recall. I don't think I've ever shared again.
That's what I really like to put on my resume, JR.
Those are the facts that everyone tuned into this episode to hear. They were like, oh man, this must be Brett's last episode. I am anxious to hear about the times that he shared microphones with people.
No, because I'm not even sure if I remember. I don't even know if I directly remember that. Like, my brain, my memory's kind of weird that way.
Yeah.
But
you were the first guest.
Yes.
Ever.
Yeah.
Back when it was with the three of us, with me, Justin, and Alex, you joined us for episode 3 what did we even talk about? I should have had this ready to go beforehand.
I didn't. Oh, wrestling. We were like the big question, if I remember correctly. Well, because I just remember like talking about Papa Shango, because we were talking about one of my favorite, like, who was your favorite wrestler growing up? I feel like that was a conversation that came up. I think that might have been the first episode, but I feel we were.
How old were you guys when you found out that Papa Shango and The Godfather and Kama were all the same person?
Last year.
I think
we
heard pretty.
There was WrestleMania.
Sorry.
Right? Yeah. Like, I mean, you go back with wrestling also, Alex.
Yeah.
But we talked, according to the terrible write-up that I did back in the day. We talked about WrestleMania. We talked about Avengers versus X-Men coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Childhood cartoons, as well as guilty pleasures we've never told anyone until that sounds like a real banger. And then we talked about video games, apparently. I don't know. Either way, episode 3, the origination of Brett Kelley, and then Alex, you got take it.
Before that, so there was a point before the podcast existed, and I think we might have been talking about Comic Book Men, the TV show with Kevin Smith and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we would hang out at the comic shop. And I forget, it might have been you, JR, who like first said, we could do this. Because now you've said that in the past where you'd watch a show and be like, we could definitely do better than that. But I don't know at what point like you actually said it to the rest of us. And we'd talk about it a little bit, but maybe not seriously. Like it would be possible. And there was a Facebook post where we were just commenting back and forth. And you, me, and Justin were just commenting on something comic book or something Rob Liefeld. And Brett's there also, but not like adding to the conversation. He's just typing in all caps, podcast. And then like we'd say some more bullshit and Brett would come back in and be like, this could be an episode, you guys. Make this an episode. And we're like, I don't know. Is it really? Like, Brett was insistent enough where, I don't know if he broke you guys, but I was like, really? Like, okay. But I mean, if this could be fun, I think this could be fun.
I think you're kind of bringing to light the fact that apparently 10 years ago, I was really good at bullying my friends into doing things.
What did you do? What have you done?
You know, who's responsible for this? Raise my.
Who's responsible this?
Yo, throwback to the Rob Ricken episode. Was that Rob Ricken?
Yeah.
The dramatic reading of fan fiction. Yeah, that brings me way back. I'm sure we're gonna get all the nostalgia going the next couple. I mean, it's already started, but it does bring me back to like really we've mentioned it before. Comic Book Men was kind of like, oh hey, they're just like sitting around a table talking. You just needed some microphones, and obviously people are going to want to listen to us. Why wouldn't they? And
or the idea, I mean, in my head, it was because we do this anyway, and so to have it recorded, and if we have a fun time hanging out with each other and just shooting the breeze, then that might be enough for if someone else wants to listen, they have the ability to do that.
It's also back when we first started this, Brett, you were living on the Cape, so like any excuse to be able to talk, it was like, oh hey, Brett, we should record a podcast because one, we can record a podcast, but also it means we get to chat with Brett for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to do my personal impression of sounding like I was in an undersea being locked in under like 3 miles underwater.
Right.
Because the
technology was our best friend.
Like I was living in a house that did not have the greatest internet signal, so that was always a challenge, but was still always more than happy to throw down for an episode if you ever needed it.
We would plug into my Motorola tablet.
Oh, the tablet! Remember the tablet?
I miss it.
Oh, we're just going with nobody gives a shit about any of this except for us, but I don't even care. That brings me back. We were discussing it in pre-show. We are using, aside from me being in my own home talking into a Yeti mic plugged into my laptop, we're still using the same setup that we started with day one in 2012. It's a soundboard that we got off Craigslist from a guy named Eddie in Connecticut, and Alex was my muscle because I'd never bought anything off Craigslist. I thought I was gonna die. And then the same mic, although that's not true actually. Alex is using a different mic.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Alex bought himself a fancy mic a couple years in. But it's pretty much the exact same setup, the whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Brett went on to appear. I tried counting today. Alex, you might have a different count than me because you're kind of better at this. I counted 44.
Oh.
Episodes that Brett is. I also counted the 2 Starwell.
Oh, I didn't count those. Yeah, I didn't count those.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got 42.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Brett?
I got 42 as well. I'm confirming
42.
Yeah.
I wonder where I got next. Did you count both of Micah's episodes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Where did I get an extra one?
You said 44.
Yeah. You said 42. Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking 45 for some reason in my, even though I'm staring at my notes saying 44 total ? So yeah, if we take off the star well, hey, we were all there together.
Yay.
Heck yeah.
But Brett almost accounts for 10% of our episodes.
Yeah.
Like just shy. Which is an amazing feat. When you go back and you search like the first couple, like our first like 20 episodes, Brett was on he was on 3, 7, 12, 13, 16, 17, and 19.
Yep.
And then, it goes on from there. And then we got a little bit better at this. The appearances got more and more spaced out, but it also made them that much more special.
Yeah.
And here we are. We're on the last one. Brett, you said you would put together some stats, and I'm curious to know what they are.
Oh, well, the stats that I was talking about were what we were going to talk about later.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We'll get to them then.
But
we'll get to them.
I understood that one.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like us, the relationship that we've cultivated.
No, he said Kickstarter in that statement.
Yeah, see, I just must have ignored it because I wanted to make it about me.
But no, but the stats, like I did want to ask because like does this make it my 42nd episode? Is my question.
No, this is your 43rd.
Yeah, 43rd. Oh. Technically 45th if you count Starwell.
All right, well I'm leaving because I want 42. No,
damn it. I've been saying since 2012 my limit's 42.
Yeah, the secret. Take my towel and I'll go home. For anyone who's darn it, I'm going to screw up the reference right now too. But the universe.
Hitchhikers.
Thank you. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it's British sci-fi comedy thing.
It's the answer to life and everything.
Yes. I used to sell the book all the time, if that helps.
Yeah.
Am I helping?
Brett is the guest who's appeared the most times. And after this episode, he's beating our next highest by only 2 appearances.
Really?
Right? That blew my mind too. Alex told me that last week, and I didn't believe him. I was like, no, that can't be right. Because it feels like we leaned so hard on Brett so many times.
But who was it? Was it Colin? Or is that information?
We're both waiting for each other to answer.
I was like, is Alex being dramatic?
Yes, it is Colin. And I said
nice.
Up to this point because he still has one more episode with us too.
Nice.
Unless he sneaks on the 2 somehow, then you guys would tie.
Oh, damn. Ooh. Could you imagine?
Then you're not. This will not stop.
Another 10 years, please. We have incredibly reliable and patient friends, and hopefully they understand how much it meant to us and has meant to us. We're thanking them by taking up even more of their free time by coming on the show one last time. So Brett, we're going to say it a lot, but thanks for coming on. I'm excited about this. It's been a pleasure doing this with you over the last decade. It has been a decade.
Yeah.
In case, or just about the first episode of this show was posted on March 19th of 2012. So we're coming up on it.
Yep.
Very, very soon.
Yeah,
which is kind of insane to think about.
Yeah. Time having fun with your friends, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty bonks. Bonks, if I do say so.
I mean, and I always feel guilty when you thank me because I feel like I'm being just as selfish participating in the podcast because maybe selfish isn't the right word for it, but it's just like, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head too, where it's just like at the time when the podcast was starting, I was living on the Cape and I wasn't making a lot of friends. over there. So like, and I missed everyone that was over on the other side of the state and in Connecticut. And it was a great excuse to be able to hear my friends talk and to participate and still stay connected. And for me personally, I really do attribute like y'all like the OMV board, like I call you guys my core four, and then obviously everyone and all the other board members are part of that. But like I've been doing a lot of like weird like personal development type of stuff lately the last couple of years, just trying to like, you know, because I have so much free time now. But one of the things is that like they talk about like success in business and how like being an entrepreneur and becoming an independent person, it's just like the people you surround yourself with are very important. And like and I always felt like I surrounded myself with a bunch of people where I never felt like I was like, I felt like I was like, you want to surround yourself with people that challenge you and want to make you like strive to be better. And I feel like for the last 10 years, I've had that with you guys, and we've been able to always use the podcast to kind of use that as a vessel for kind of staying in touch with each other and hanging out. And I think I've said this on a previous podcast too, where like, the idea is that like, you know what, like if it like the podcast, for whatever happens to it before, you know, in the future, whether it, you know, whatever it happens, at the very least, it's become, outside of establishing a brilliant network of amazing content that you guys have been able to cultivate over the last 10 years, but it's also a great like audio recording of history. It's a historical document as far as I'm concerned. And we get to, you know, like if I'm missing my friends and I can't talk to y'all, like I'll throw in an OMV episode, and that in itself, I think, makes it so important to me, to be a little emotional about it right off the bat. But like, you guys are my best friends, and being a part of this was awesome.
Brett's one of the first people who like would actively listen to the show and like message me and Alex and be like, hey man, I really enjoyed this, and like telling us stories of yelling at us in his car because we said something wrong, like not wrong, but like couldn't think of the name of this one guy or whatever. You know, it was a boost early on to be like, okay, you know, people are, at least someone's listening and they're enjoying it. And like, you know, Brett living hours away, if we could help make your day just a little bit better, okay, cool, worth it.
Yeah. I needed something to listen to while I was stocking beef and beer 70 hours a week. That was fun.
And then Brett went on to, you're one of the few people, one of like three who's been a field reporter for us. In like an official, you know, media related capacity. Brett went to shows that we did not go to and reported on them, put together insane write-ups and took a bunch of pictures, and it's been valuable stuff. Like, it also taught me like, oh, this is what I should be maybe looking for at shows instead of just walking around looking at stuff.
But also, we got to like the conventions that we got to hang out at too. Like those are like so, like Boston Comic Con, like that alone was just so much fun to do for that stretch of time. Like that was so like, you, I mean, like you want to talk about like hanging around with people that help you hone, like, you know, I didn't have any other friends that would have like split a table with me at a convention to like work out, like, you know, in that capacity, you know? So like I was able to grow as an artist through working with you guys too. I mean, I honestly do truly believe that. And, and having you guys around me to help talk me up when I'm a self-deprecating so-and-so, you know,
I feel that.
Like we were the lift each other up crew. Like whenever one of us would not want to brag about yourself, we were able to surround ourselves with other people that would do it for us and better than whoever we could. So that was rad. And I don't know. I feel like I don't want to speak of this. Like, yes, the podcast. Yes, the podcast is ending. But I'm stubborn in the sense where I'm like, you know, like I'm sure we're creative people. We're gonna find new stuff to do, and like I'm excited to find out what that is. And I just know it's gonna involve doing cool stuff with my friends, and that's all that matters.
Well, like even when we were talking with Joe, and that was still 10 episodes ago.
Yeah.
But as we're recording, it's like, wait, it's not a goodbye. Like, we're still going to be friends and we're still hanging out. We're just not recording it anymore. And that kind of like took me a day and a night to get over and be like, oh yeah, like no one's going anywhere. No one's dying. We're just not doing a scheduled thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Alex and I are still going to live in the same town. You know,
I want to admit that it's weird to like say I want to take credit, but there was a point where I was like, Brett needs to do more real shows and fewer flea markets, craft fairs. Like Brett's hustling and doing craft fairs, and I was like, we need to get him to a real convention around other artists, and so he could, draw more stuff. And I was like, how do we do that? What if we get him half a table? But also to that, I've been to shows by myself. I've been to shows with just one other friend. Mm-hmm. And even like going to a show by myself, like I find myself, if I didn't have a mission to like get the best sketch or to get a rare issue or something, then it's this weird kind of awkward looking for friends. And like, is there someone I want to talk to? Do I start clinging to them? And will this get awkward? Do I see them later? Do I want to ask if someone wants to get dinner? And like, I'm not going to do any of that. I don't do that. But now if I go to a show with 4 other people, now it's a party and it's awesome.
Yeah. And like, as we've evidenced in the past, like when we would do those shows, man, we would have like those moments where we were like, oh, like we would see people, we would know people. And then we get like it would become like a big spectacle because we geek out pretty hard and we geek out pretty loud when we run into people. Like it just became like those were really fun moments.
They really were. Thinking back to even before we started tabling and stuff like that, just attending shows with friends. There was at least one year where most of us went to New York Comic Con together, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm excited to get back to that eventually. Obviously for myself, it's still a little too soon. I'm not quite sure when exactly that time is going to be, but it is something to look forward to in the future, getting back to shows and stuff at some point. Who knows when, but it is some of the fondest memories I've had.
I caught myself eyeballing like a couple events happening near the tail here where I was like, I get, it's not a matter that if I want to or not. It's just a matter of being like, all right, like what's the reality of the situation here? Like, will this be a feasible thing, or like what are I have to do the mental math and figure out what that's all about. But like Monster Expo is happening in April, and that's a halfway to Halloween show. And that's happening in like new it's happening in New Britain. No, not New Britain. New something. It's in a town in Massachusetts on the East Coast. Like it's in the armpit, not where the Cape is, but it's like right next to Rhode Island.
Is it New Bedford?
Was that? Yeah. No, not New. Close though.
Got to say it like a local.
New Bedford.
Yeah, I wasn't. You noticed that I didn't even react to it. I was like, that's what that was. New Bedford. It's kind of a weird thing too. Like I'm for some reason, like my family, especially my extended family, like has like central Massachusetts roots, and I just never caught that. Like I just never got that accent. That never. Like I didn't grow up with it long enough for it to like really. If I get mad or something, I guess it comes out. Not New Bedford. No, it's not New Bedford. I almost said New Bedford, but it wasn't. I'm trying to look it up right now. I think it's Fall River. You know what? Screw it. It's New Bedford. I don't care. It's New Bedford. Take this conversation. It's New Bedford.
Yeah. Anyways, so shows.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, and then there's another like RPM Fest is coming up this year, or at least the people running it are trying to run that again. Mm-hmm. And boy, howdy, that's like my favorite. Like I will talk anyone into going to that show because man, it's a 3-day festival. It's at a gun club up in Millers Falls. 3 days, so good. Like every metalhead in Western Massachusetts in the surrounding New England area shows up. It's outside. 3 stages, 1 professional stage for metal acts, 1 punk stage, which is like on a little gazebo bulkhead, and then there's like a middle stage show for the rock acts. And man, it's just a blast. Like I've tabled there. I went there last year for fun. Like I saw Psycho Stick play there. I've met a bunch of bands that I've done album artwork, like I've done merchandise artwork for there. Yeah, it was just hella fun. Just super fun. And that's supposed to be coming up Labor Day weekend in September. So I've been like looking at that being like, maybe, let's hope, fingers and toes crossed. Hope that's good.
There's a chance.
Yep, I hope.
Until then,
yes,
there are, I mean, even without shows, Brett, you found a way to get people to send you money.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about what's your secret? How do you get people to send you like a bunch of, so far you've got almost 50 people ready to be able to just have their money taken from you. What do you got? What's going on with this?
Yeah, I'll try and summarize efficiently. Even though that's not my strong suit, but I'll give it a go. Horrible start already. So let's
killing it.
So this like the whole thing that started, we can do it. Basically, I'm running a Kickstarter. That's the end part of it. That's really the fun part. But the story of how I got there is really interesting. So this time last year in February, I was half asleep. I was dealing with insomnia, and I was like getting like 2 hours of sleep a night on my 8th day, and I was losing my mind. So like one night I was just freaking out. I was like, let me just draw something. Let me just do that, get it out of my system. So at 3:00 in the morning, I filled out an entire sketchbook full of jack-o'-lantern designs. And I was just like, just going to draw a whole bunch of them. And I ended up like 30 pages, like full of these sketches. And you can see the sketchbook rundown. I just posted on my Instagram at BK Artworks. I did an Instagram live feed just earlier this week about it. But like I did that. And then I was looking at all the designs and I was like, I want to do something with these. I want to make this into a pin because for the last couple of years, I've been trying to make enamel pins. Like I've been working with my friend Jeremy Caldwell in Texas. He's otherwise known as the Pin Stash. He's done a lot of really cool stuff. We ran into him when we visited a 5 Points Fest back in 2019, I think. Mm-hmm. And like he helped me out a lot. Like we were working on like this very specific, very heavy duty design. So, but like he was also doing his other stuff, so I didn't want to bother him. So I was like, let me do this myself. And I went about getting some digital stuff. So, Babs, as you know, a frequent guest and friend of the show, Babs and my girlfriend of many years, 7 or 8 at this point. She wanted to support me, so she got me an iPad with Procreate. So I crash course myself on Procreate, turn it into a digital file. And I contacted a pin manufacturer and it was like, hey, I got all this stuff to make a pin. Can you help me make this pin? And they were like, yeah, all right. So I was like, all right. So I went off and I did this, the tail end, like I did this in I want to say September, October, where like I just did a test run where I worked with this company because I wanted to do this all myself, just see if it's possible, if my artwork translates well into a physical media. And the pins came back and it was really exciting. It took like 4 to 6 weeks. And I ended up making like 50. I got a 75 count run of an enamel pin called a flapjack. Because it's like a jack-o'-lantern with like little bat wings. Mm-hmm. It was like
I'm chef's kissing at the name. I'm just, mwah, mwah. Just gorgeous.
I initially wanted to call it a battle lantern, but then I realized that Roblox exists, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to get confused in all that stuff. I don't want to. It's difficult to try and like use, for all that, and it's whatever. But so I got the pins in. I did an unboxing, and it was really cool. And I had set up a coffee shop for myself like years ago, and I never did anything with it. So like I listed them all on my coffee shop just to test the grounds. And I had started up a Facebook group where like with like 80 people of like my closest friends. I think y'all are in it, and I'm sure 90% of anyone listening to this, we know, just get on with the story. I posted it there, and I sold 50 of the pins in 4 days. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So the pins came out great. The quality was amazing. The company was really good to work with, and that all happened in December. It took me about a month to ship out like 50 orders to people. 55 out of the 75 pins I have like 18, 19 left over that I've been kind of holding on to for like if I ever make it to another live event, I'd want to sell them there. But then that was like the first iteration. The second, so yeah, that's what happened in last year. This year, I was like, all right, let me pull the trigger while I'm the dopamine's firing. So let me just hang on to it before it flies out the window. Mm-hmm. So like I decided to follow it a little bit more. So I was like, oh, I'm going to make a whole bunch of color variants on these. As I gave them different names and stuff. So I was like, all right, I think this is time to make it a Kickstarter. It's very clear. And I did it, and I wanted to challenge myself because I was like, all right, I gave myself a lot of different challenges to do this. So the challenges were I'm attempting to sell a product in a Halloween themed product in February, 2 months after Christmas. And all the people that I normally would have pitched it to have already bought it. So I was like, but in my head, I was like, I really wanted to, like, I want to see if the market, if there's a marketability to my artwork, like does my artwork function outside of the people I strong arm into supporting me? And in that regard, I'm very thankful for that. I ran a Kickstarter, and I was funded. I reached my initial funding 3 days ago. We're on 9 days left. And I'm thankful to say that initial funding, I've reached our first Kickstarter, our first stretch goal was reached. So 5 out of the 6 pin designs I wanted to do are good to go so far, mm-hmm. which is great. And but man, it's been a journey just returning to Kickstarter after 6 years, because it's been 6 years since I ran the Clockworktropolis Kickstarter, which I announced on this very show 6 years ago as well.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm thankful that like it's definitely been a process, and like and the Kickstarter landscape, even in 6 short years, has changed dramatically. I can promise you right now, like, I mean, if you want, I could talk about the stats that you kind of teased earlier, JR, if you prefer.
I like stats. I mean, it's been fun watching, because obviously you want to support my friends, and crowdfunding, at least as from a spectator, I could sit here and be like, oh my God, it's so stressful, but I can't even imagine what it's like to actually run one. But it was great to see, because initially the plan was, hey, can for my last episode, can I also talk about the Kickstarter? Hell yeah, dude. Obviously, I don't know, talking about Kickstarters, have we ever really done that before? But and it, like, you don't even need us. Like, at this point, Brett has already smashed through his goal.
Yep.
Of $2,500, but yeah, like Brett was saying, there are stretch goals, which you've already met the first one, unlocking a new color variant. So far we've unlocked Dusk, and we still will hopefully be able to unlock Rotten, and that is about $500 away ish, depending on. Sorry, go ahead, Brett.
No, I was just confirming what you were saying. Yeah, you got it.
Nailed it. And because currently the campaign with the 4 colors, like usually, like I I'm gonna brag here.
Go
I got
for it.
I got one of the originals. You know.
Yeah.
I got one of the ones you can't get anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it is. Oh, technically you can get it if you were to back at a certain level on the Kickstarter.
Yes.
But the general, you can't just go buy it anymore.
No.
But looking at the new colors, even my wife was like, "Oh yeah, I backed it." There's, I can't deny that there's a very particular one that she liked.
Nice.
So she did that, and I was like, okay, well, I like obviously I need Oops All Crimson. Oops All Crimson is funny enough to warrant throwing money at it.
Yep.
But it's also a baller looking pin. But the colorways are great. I'm excited to see if the stretch goals hit, the remaining one at least, because they are very exciting. It's a very neat pin. Go ahead, Brett. You were going to say something.
No, thank you. I appreciate you saying that as well. I mean, like I'm overdue to update the Kickstarter 2 to announce that we had broken the first one. It's been a wild week so far. But yeah, like I mean, if we get up to like 30, you know, if we even get up to like even 3,500, I can wedge in another pin design, because the one thing that I took to with Procreate is that I fell in love with coloring, like doing color theory and because it's so easy. You just use a stylus and you just click the color you want and you just drag it to the thing and then there you go.
It's done. A couple taps.
Yeah. Like, man, why can't it actually be this easy in real life? Like I want that, but not on a screen. But like, yeah, I have a dozen color variants. So like if I make enough where I can finance an extra color run, I have maybe 4 or 5 that are just hanging out on the wayside. And worst case scenario, if I don't get them funded, I'm just turning them into stickers, because I made a bunch of stickers in 2018 and 2019. I sold out of them all. And then while this was all going, once again, I let the dopamine, I just let it ride me into the sunset. And I was like, you know what? I'm bringing all my stickers back, because a lot of people really like those. And I sold out of them. So I'm like, all right, cool. So like I found a new sticker producer, Sticker Ninja. Sticker Ninja is really cool. They're based out of Washington, I believe. They're on the West Coast, and they're a little bit pricier than I was expecting, but it's great quality. They're really cool, and they give me fun little notes in the proof process that make giggle. So that's well worth my time. So like that's been super fun, and I make it so anything that I don't make into a pin, I'm just turning into stickers. And then the kicker is that I really went further ways that I've now currently developed enough where I kind of I'm probably going to make another pin set, if not by the end of this year, probably next year. Like I have maybe 8 pin designs that I can work with right now just right off the bat. 4 like a pumpkin, or 4 of them are pumpkins again. Like I want to do like a pumpkin patch type of thing. Mm-hmm. Just so that way to keep in that theme. But then I also have a bunch that were inspired by my Halloween drawing a day challenge that I had done in October last year, which was the Fall Hollows Saints of Samhain, which is just a random thing that I didn't intend to do that. The idea fell into my head. I was like, ooh, that's a really fun thing. Let me just pop in a Photor and just drum up the image and just make that a thing. And it just worked out. So I was like, all right, cool. And I just made up all the themes myself, all the day themes and stuff, like all of that. So there's a lot of them, and I ended up selling a bunch of those too, which I was not expecting, but that was really fun. Yeah, those super fun. But I'm taking a lot of those and converting those into pin designs as well.
That's right.
Brett, what do you got? What do you got for these stats here? Being a Kickstarter aficionado, not aficionado, that's a dumb word, but being you've backed a bunch. You're in the midst of running your second one, which as of today has been a success. There's still not, as of this recording, there's still 9 days to go. Once this is posted, there'll be about 7. So get on that. If you're listening, your time is limited to snag up on these pins. What do you got for these stats? I'm interested. Initially, I thought they were about me because I'm a selfish piece of shit. What do you got for these stats? Hit me with them.
I'm going to do this again because I'm a cheesy horror nerd. 7 days.
Oh, nice.
All right, cool. But yeah, so because I was doing the compare and contrast because so far it's 49 backers. The big thing for me was that I wanted the challenge for me was because even with the coloring book, the coloring book, I felt like I kind of had it easy because it was my first Kickstarter. I had a lot of people, a lot of friends that like coloring books. Coloring books were kind of just rounding out their big popularity boom at the time. They had really hit in 2014 and 2015, and then I kind of made my steampunk one. So the audience for it was there. The thing with making an enamel pin Kickstarter is that the communities that are involved, especially with the audiences, are very niche, and they're kind of hard to find in a lot of ways. So what I did is that leading into it, I found as many groups that I could post the campaign in that I thought, and I found 35 Facebook groups. I posted in 19 of them, and then I had a couple other people shared the campaign in the groups that they're in. I became very familiar with Reddit. I started my own Reddit account. I've had a Reddit account in the past, but it was just a lurker account for me, just being an old man and being like, damn, what's this? What? What's an upvote? That type of thing. Just had to figure that out. That's but I made an official one. It's the exact same moniker as my Instagram handle, which is even better. So that way, if somebody wants to see me, it's an easy translate. And then I went back on DeviantArt. I resurrected my DeviantArt account after 8 years of just not doing anything with it. So I posted I posted this thing everywhere, and it did not help at all. It just didn't. Well, it did. I'm joking, but I get out of the 49 backers, 12 of them are people that I don't know. So 1 out of every 4 people that have backed are people that I have no idea, which is a lot lower. I want to say that I think it was I hit almost 80 people in 2016 that had backed the campaign, and I want it was closer to 30 to 40% of people that I just never met before. I was sending stuff all across the country to people. I was I have no idea who you are, but I hope you get this. So that was really interesting. And it was also really interesting just trying to share the campaign on social media and trying to do a legitimate campaign, especially organically, because anyone who knows that has social media just doesn't function the way that it used to, even half a decade ago. You literally have to fight the algorithm. You have to find ways of figuring out the right audience. I was posting, because I broke down the thing being all right, who in their right mind that doesn't know me would give a crap about this product, give a crap about this pin. I was all right, so some hardcore pin fans might like it. Halloween fans would definitely like it. And then collectors and stuff like that. And those are kind of the 3 main food groups that I kind of tried to focus on. And it was doing really well for the last couple weeks, kind of. But it's just you just got to get used to the crickets, basically. You just kind of keep going and going. And on Reddit, the worst thing is that I actually put myself behind. I kind of shot myself in the foot out the gate, because what I forgot is that a lot of the groups that I wanted to post in were yeah, we have a lot of rules. So if you're a brand new account, if your account is less than 30 days old, you're not posting anything on here, especially not thing. And you have to have at least so and so amount of karma, 500 plus karma. I got over 500 karma just today, by the way. Very proud. Dust the chip off my shoulder. I got it. But but yeah, so I learning a lot of the rules on that type of stuff has been a process. But the average backer for the campaign so far, $54, which is crazy. Like I guarantee you that for the coloring book, it was way less. But it's also like I had as many huge backers, like people who backed like at like it, like two people backed at like the largest backing tier that I had, and then someone just gave me $200. They like didn't put anything down. Like I reached out to them, I was like, dude, like what? Why? Like, do you? I'm expecting that you're expecting something. What do you want? I will give. But we ended up working it out. It was it was Nick Borges, by the way. He's
I hear he's gorgeous.
That lovely man. I thank him greatly for that. But that's kind of been it. Like, and I posted updates on LinkedIn. Like my interactivity on LinkedIn was like almost higher because LinkedIn doesn't strong arm you like some other platforms do. Like you don't have to pay LinkedIn to do the thing that it used to do for free 5 years ago. So like that was really fun. And then actually DeviantArt was pretty fun too. Like going back into it and being like, oh wow, I'm colossally elderly now. But like there's a bunch of groups, like a bunch of Halloween groups and stuff, and it's a lot easier to kind of spread your art around on DeviantArt. But yeah, Facebook was definitely an uphill climb. Reddit was a little more of an uphill climb, but on the plus side, I found a lot of bunch of groups that just like spooky like Halloween humor. So like I found a bunch of fun stuff. So I got some good stuff out of it. But that's kind of like those are some of like the general stats at a glance, really.
I went to go sell pins, and now I've got a bunch of memes saved up.
Yeah,
the way Reddit works.
Very mad at me because I referred to Metallica as Dadcore Butt Rock.
Oops.
I was like, sorry, I wanted to make a joke, and am I wrong? I'm not saying they're bad. I got Ride the Lightning in my CD rotation right now. Like it's like they're not bad. It's just self-awareness.
Reddit's that crazy place, and I mean this goes way back. I remember way back in the day. Talking about the MC Chris stuff way back with Richie Branson and all that shit. We're talking about how Reddit was just lighting him up. And I was like, yo, I buried Reddit. Hated him. And now I probably spend more time on that cursed application than any other app on my phone. But
yeah,
it makes me laugh. And it's also fickle in that sometimes you could comment something thinking you're making some brilliant joke and the whole world's going to be on it. And then you go back to it later and it's got like 17 downvotes. Yep. And like, everyone just hates it. Oh well, I thought it was funny. But
oops.
Oops.
Like, the worst. Honestly, the thing I liked on Reddit is that the art community is super awesome. Like I'm on Artist Lounge right now and Art Business, and man, the most of my upvotes have just been like posting and like helping out other artists and stuff, because I realized like, oh right, I'm at the age now where like I've been doing this a long time, and like you kind of forget, like when you're doing something for so long, you forget that you learn things. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh yeah, I technically I can't call myself a beginner anymore because I've been doing this for 10 years, and all the information I have I take for granted because I'm like, oh well, I know this, so that means everyone must know this, right? You have those conversations and everyone's like, oh my gosh, I can't, you make a comment and everyone's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. That's amazing. And I'm just like, huh, yay. Helping.
This is standard practice, dude.
Yeah.
And now here we are. I don't know how many days, but again, the Kickstarter, as of this release, there's about 7 days left ish.
Yep.
Depending on time, but right now, like we've discussed, Brett has hit his goal, but there's still time to snag some dope pins. Again, it's the flapjack pin. I can't remember if we ever fully described it. It's a smiling little pumpkin boy with some bat wings, and it's a beautiful design. There's some really neat colors available, all for a very reasonable price. I'm currently booked. I'm currently backing I think I'm in the Boosum Twosome.
Yeah.
For 2 more pins, because I like the colors, and also like I was gonna go for the 3-fer. I can't remember what the 3 one's called.
Yeah, probably.
Well, that's
triple threat.
Yeah.
And but my wife was like, "Oh, but I like the other one that you were thinking about getting, so we'll have all three of them."
Heck yeah.
So teamwork. And but you can go check that out on Kickstarter and throw some money at a really good friend because it's really neat. And also, enamel pins are an addictive little hobby there.
I consider enamel pins are just physical NFTs. My humble opinion.
Right, you can own them. It'll be yours in your hands.
Yep.
And that's it. You own it. You paid an artist for a real thing.
And in the right art communities, they appreciate and value.
Exactly.
That's true though. Like for real. Like Alex, I was going to ask you. I was like, I got a couple pins I think I want to offload, and I kind of wanted to let you do it just because you're really good at kind of handling those types of things. But like, I got pins. Like there are a couple pins I got at like $70 that I could easily turn over for 200.
Damn.
Easy. And it's like you got to find like, and once again, like, and that's kind of like why I started, like, I liked pins from afar from a long time ago for a while, just because like, I mean, I don't even remember how, like, who among us, like, who are we blaming for this? Who got it?
Alex.
Yes.
Who, me?
Yeah. Of course it was Alex.
Look, someone had to go and tell me about Penny Arcade, and that wasn't me. That wasn't my fault.
All right.
So you can't blame. I mean, I bought some Penny Arcade. I own.
Yeah.
There's. Yeah.
You've had a bag covered in pins for as long as I can remember.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
And the Penny Arcade was when I got in on it, and I was like, what are these pins that people keep talking about? I don't get it. Trading is a thing. Like I saw Alex trade once in the wild at Boston Comic Con.
Heck yeah.
And
I forgot by the time you talking about Penny Arcade, my con bag was already full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. It's my fault. Yep. It's me.
100%. And then we all just enabled each other because like I got in on it, like buying pretty much strictly Penny Arcade pins. And then Joe started to buy pins. And then Brett shows up with these just monster artistic, just beautiful things that I've never even seen before. And now it's inspired. Like I'm literally looking at my collection right now. Like I have to choose, it's like what's going on my backpack this season. What's this season's pins? It's also every jacket. There's the jacket lineup for this year. What am I going to put on my jacket for this winter? It's always Alex was actually the one time I've seen Alex this winter was the first person to be like, you get new pins? Like the first thing Alex said to me was like, I don't think I've seen this pins before. And for some reason, great place. If you ever want to get your pins scoped out, apparently go to Big Y, the grocery store, because every time I go to Big Y, someone stops me to look at my pins.
Nice.
I don't know why, but anyways, pins are a lot of fun. Collect also on Brett's pins. Has it been announced yet? No,
what?
I can't announce that for you for what else is going on the pins. Has it been put in an update?
I don't even know. I'm not even
on the backs.
Oh, the back stamp. Yeah. I'm getting back stamps on these. So that way it has my Instagram handle and it's in a really cool font called Creepster.
Naturally.
And they are going to be numbered this time. Like that's like the one thing that like when I wanted to do the Kickstarter that was different is that when I got the first run of pins, I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to get them done. So I didn't really, I didn't have a lot of, like, I financed the first run independently by myself. Like I had to save up my pennies, my couch. So like I had to so when I ran them, like it was a very conservative amount, a very bare bones run out. But because of this time where I was like, all right, like the pins came out killer quality. Like they look, the design translates so well. It looked exactly how I thought it was going to look like when I was designing it. But now that I know that that's what they're going to look like I went full out. So each number is numbered, has a backer. So you have my identifier on it, which is a big thing for me. Like, there's like a legitimacy to it in my humble opinion, because, I follow a lot of pin producers, and which is like, I think that's why I like the pin scene so much, even though it is a very difficult one to kind of break out in, because there's so many independent producers of pins, and each one has like their own manufacturer that you can't find anywhere else, or everyone has like their own designs and their own websites, or there's some people that make their own stuff, but they don't even have a website. So you have to like track them down on Facebook and be like, hey, do you have the pin that everyone wants? And you'd be like, yeah, it'll be $60. And you're like, yes, please. And thank you. But they all have like that branding of like the back stamp, and like, they have like those designs and like that style where like, like I love Almost Amusing, like you can see an Almost Amusing pin and recognize it from a half mile away. Like they're huge, they're chunky, they're clunky, they're massively designed. They have like these amazing ones, like the Mothman, the gargantuan, like 5 pin backer Mothman pin that I got the other day. That's Almost Amusing. Like it's insane. Like those are the ones that I consider to be art pieces. Like it will never be worn on an article of clothing. It's just going to go on my wall and look. But like there's so many other good ones, like Crunchy Fingers has like some really amazing pin designs that are a little bit smaller, but they all like, the one thing is that like when you get the pin, when you order it and you get it and you look at the back, like it has the stamp and you're like, yeah, this is this person, and they make really cool stuff, and I have one. And like, yeah, like, and it's like making your prints, because like it's like 1 out of 100, 1 out of 65, 1 out of 165. Like most pin runs, they're almost always under 200 at the very least. But you have like you have people that make massive, like much larger pin runs, like the ones that, and those are the ones that you can find on Etsy. I got most of my Mothman pins from Etsy, like specifically, like, Wicked Clothes like has a bunch of really fun ones, and a bunch of independent makers. Like there's a lot of really good ones. Like I have like a Mothman tarot card one that's gold. That's like the moon card. And that one is like one of my favorites. And I also have Mothman like with the Batman logo. I forgot which company made that one, but that one's more of like that's more of like a mass produced one. But like it's also difficult. Like there are makers that sell 165 at 75 a pop, and like I told you guys about this the other day, where like there was a pin drop of an amazing design that I really wanted. Like I wanted it real bad. And it dropped at Friday at 8 p.m. And at 8 p.m. at 7:59, I was on the website. I refresh at 8 o'clock. The things are there. I pick one up, add it to my cart. I have to click off the site to go to my cart, and then I see that it's there. I have to click to checkout. And the time it took me to do that, sold out. 165 sold out. I was like, oh, that's what it's like to try and get a PAX ticket.
The good old days.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I know what I'm doing.
Sure.
Will you have an update? Will the add-on? No. Will the stretch goal pins be put in the add-ons? Because like I'm a completist.
Yep.
I'm gonna need all of them. But right now I can only get 4 at a time.
Of course.
And like since the 5th one's been unlocked, I need to get that one into my pledge, and then hopefully other people can add theirs in, and now your total should be skyrocketing, because anyone else who's like, I need all of them too, which that's just going to add on to their, well, now instead of 4 I'm getting 5s.
Yeah, that's thank you for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate that. And I'll definitely make sure that happens.
Yeah, I think you can, like, can't you do like post campaign? And this isn't really podcast material, but like
the thing is, if it's
people can like add stuff to their cart, like additional items.
I think Alex hit it on the head, where like I can like you can get the I can add it as an add-on. So that way, like if someone wants to go in and change their backing tier, so that way they don't have to go in and reback and all that stuff. Like that's definitely something you can do. That's actually one of the cool things that I like about Kickstarter too. Like Kickstarter makes their campaigns real pliable in the best way possible.
But if it's in the add-on menu, right? That's after the fund drive is finished, when it says complete your payment and whatever, and then it can choose to add them on.
Yep.
But that's not going to wind up to the stretch goal, because like once the funding is over, it's over. Yeah. Like, will that still add together? Like, you want it to add up while the fund is running to watch the stretch goals hit.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like when we talk to DW Khan with
Yep.
Lovecraft PI, like he'll be funding a new book and he only needs like $300. But then when you get to the add-ons, he has like 20 other items in the add-ons.
Yeah. That throws me off a lot, because like I didn't like, and I this is just me. I'm just talking to my own to my own screw ups, where I get really confused when a Kickstarter does that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, oh, like which one am I gonna do, or whatever.
There's so many options.
Yes, exactly. So like, I think for my own personal organization, like I just wanted to try and keep it like nice and streamlined, where it's like, you know, like five backing tiers at most, so that way I can keep track. Like, my poor phone, I use it so much now that like, yes, I can file a backer report, but I literally update every time a new backer comes up, and so that way I just have my own personal info on everything, just so that way I can always reference it. Like, yeah, because like even activities, just so that way I can kind of map it out and have the data in front of me. Like every day I would post to one group, Facebook group, I would post to one subreddit. Like if I got a new backer, I would just update that, what the percentage was, and then just kind of keep it going like that. Sorry, I'm getting the hiccups. And I don't like, I had dinner too recently apparently, and like it's just kicking. So sorry.
It's okay.
Well, Brett, you have been funded. Still some time to go, so there's still time to get the remaining stretch goal. But congratulations! I'm excited. I'm thrilled. It's been fun to watch. I remember watching. It was cool because like when you were selling the original on your coffee shop, like because you said that there were 50 left on coffee, like you could refresh and see like, oh hey, there's 46 left. So it's fun to see them like selling in real time.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I was not expecting them to sell that fast at all. Like truly, like I just threw them up there, just being like, yeah, I'll send out a couple of months, I'll send out a couple week or whatever. Like, it's no big deal. Like, I didn't think they were going to go that. And then, but I was wrong. Like all my friends were like, no, now, done. And I was like, all right, cool. Guess I'm mailing them all out now.
I'm pumped because, with this episode, it will be the last thing that we pimp on Kickstarter.
Wow.
It turned into like a staple. We found it was a fun way to talk with people and also, promote the thing that they were making. It was a very easy way to be like, okay, you got this thing going, let's talk about it. And it turned into kind of a staple of the show, an unofficial, like we were never paid any money. We have never ever been paid to promote anything ever in the history of this show. It's all just because we thought it was neat.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be able to say that this is the last time we pimp a Kickstarter is Brett Kelley's.
Oh man, I'm honored.
And then it's already been successful. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, okay, a couple more days, we're almost there. Brett's already there.
Yeah.
So now everything else is just gravy. But you still got time to snag some pins. Highly recommend. Big recommend. They are beautiful. They could also you can double as like a weapon. They have a good, they go well like in the fist.
Yeah, the accidental design perk. Apparently, I didn't even consider that when I was drawing it. I was just like, oh no, they look cool. and then someone else was like, oh no, these are great. I can use this to fend off an attacker. I was like, I wouldn't, but okay.
You can grip them like some knucks.
You can, yeah. Yep. Yep.
Like
That's exactly
X20,
what
like be like X23, but not.
Yeah, it's like,
Close.
it's a I don't have anything funny to say to that. Your joke was better. So
Punch you in the face with this flappy boy.
yeah, there it is.
There it is.
You looking to get flapjacked?
There it is. Yep. That's
So
amazing.
go throw money at Brett. And in exchange, Brett will throw pins at you, and everyone will be happy because pins are cool.
Yeah,
Brett, I'm thrilled for you.
thank you, man. No, I appreciate it. Thanks. I appreciate you do with the signal boost. I'm very happy. Like as you can, like it's been weird. Like I haven't been doing a lot of great stuff. I've been kind of like having a hard time producing stuff the last couple of years, just because
no one will blame you.
The last couple of years happened. Yep.
We've all been stagnant.
Yep. And well, it's also kind of weird that I say that because I was like, man, it's been weird. Like the last couple of years, like yeah, like it's man. Last 20 months, you guys, what a hoot!
It's been just, and now there's war. So
yeah,
okay, here we go.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways, so
yeah.
Alex, how are we doing on time?
We're at 105.
105. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm happy to talk about whatever you want for as long as you want, my friends.
I didn't really plan on setting anything else up.
Yeah.
Like doing a 40 episode retrospective.
No, of course. Yeah. No. Yeah. We don't need to do that.
That'll just be jerking ourselves off even more than we already are.
Yeah. And well, I'm happily self-aware enough that yes, 42 episodes. Not all of them are winners.
I did have something that is the most OMV thing in the history of OMV.
Please lay it on me.
And this is Brett, your experiment earlier. Brett messaged us saying, "Hey guys, what do you think about if I posted online, asking people if they have any questions for me that we can read live during the show and Brett could answer them?" And we're like, "Hell yeah, let's do it up." And Brett posts on Facebook saying, "I'm recording my final appearance on OMV. Ask me questions in the comments. I'll answer them on air, and you can hear the answer Saturday when the episode drops." And in true OMV fashion, it wouldn't be OMV without this. No one responded.
My friend that I played D&D with in Bab's game loved the response, did not make a comment.
Yep. It was the most on brand OMV thing. I'm actually kind of happy that it happened.
Right.
Just to fit in with
I'm sorry. Please go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought.
No, I was just it was just very on brand for us, and it made me laugh really hard.
Yeah.
With over 440 episodes, and we're over 74,000 downloads. We've been contacted by maybe 3 strangers who we don't actually know, who have listened and responded. And that's about it. Like there's people that have liked the posts, either Instagram or Facebook and possibly the Twitter, but they could just click the like and that's fine. But we don't know if they've actually listened to any of the shows. But we know someone's listening. There's over 70,000 listens, but no one tells us.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm logging in right now to see if we have broken it.
What?
Oh, wow. Okay. Someone was listening yesterday.
Nice.
We have triple the amount of downloads in February than we did in January.
Damn.
We have more downloads in February than January and December combined.
Wow.
And I had no idea where that came from. But we did break. Oh yeah, that might be. I'm checking individual stats now. We're really going inside baseball.
Heck yeah. Little do people know that over the last couple of years, at my day job, I've done a lot of stuff. But one of the big things that I was doing is I was doing a lot of social media stuff, and man, I got really into data looking at data, and trying to figure. Yeah, it's a fun game to play.
It's also torturous.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Right now, year to date, podcast to date, we're at 75,442 downloads all time.
Wow.
Which is neat. We were creeping up up to 75, and I was hoping we'd hit that milestone before we ended, and we actually crashed through it.
Heck yeah.
Which is pretty neat, pretty unexpected. Podcasting is a weird thing when you don't know what you're doing, because 1 month no one seems like is tuning in, and then all of a sudden you get 400 downloads in one day, and it's like, oh well, where'd that come from? How do I hold on to that? And then it just disappears.
Yeah.
So there are people who make a lot more money than me who are paid to understand that kind of stuff. But yeah, apparently some people have been listening. Every time we post, there's at least a couple dozen people who tune in regularly, in addition to all the random stuff. So, it hasn't been for nothing. If anything, it was a great excuse to hang out with my friends. It was a great excuse to meet new people, engage in conversations that I would usually be too afraid to have in the first place. It strengthened my relationship with you and Alex specifically.
Yeah.
Like before all this, it was like you were my friends, but like I wasn't hanging out with either of you.
Yeah.
Like individually, it was always like when the groups got together, we would all hang out. So if anything, it's helped with a bunch of stuff outside of podcasting, in addition to making content and meeting, and interviewing some of my heroes.
Yeah, I can also say, like, wholeheartedly, like, not to cut you off, like, it was very, like,
I was rambling.
Okay, well, you're on a tear. I didn't want to ruin it, but like, but I was gonna say, like, I think you and I, like, we probably mentioned. I don't even think it's ever really been said, at least not on cast, but like, I think you and I, like, have grown probably closer out of like the entire group in a way. I think personally, where I'm like, because yeah, you're right. Like when we first all started hanging out, like. I think we joked about this in the past, where I was like, yeah, like you and I were aware of each other because we both dated the same person one time forever ago. but now you and I think have like specific things that I like talking to people about, like, like when new Hot Ones episode drops, like you and I always tend to talk about it, or like if something like musical happens, like we like to talk about that type of stuff. But then, like, and that's super cool. I enjoy that. I like that a lot.
There's a certain type of meme that I can only send to Brett. Yeah. Like sometimes when I see stuff, I'm like, oh, that's a Brett. Brett is the only person I know who will find that equally as funny as me.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been like Brett and I we worked together. So it was the exact same thing with Alex. Like we worked at the same place. Sometimes, not like directly, but like we were never like close friends. And this has really spawned into some of the best friendships that I've ever had. With like looking back, when people say like, oh my, damn, you did this, telling people, hey, we're ending the show in 10 years, and they go, oh my God. And I'm like, I know, tell me about it. I don't look back at it and think like, damn, I wasted my time. What was I doing?
That's Like that's the one thing.
I don't have that.
No, I was gonna say, like, the one thing that I've always said, like, I've always, me, I've always tried to name drop OMV whenever possible, and that is like the one thing where, like, when I was telling some people that I was like, yeah, like the group that I was hanging out with, I was like, yeah, I can't, I'm like, can we reschedule Rolling Dice, because like I can't make it to, I'm recording with my buddy's podcast, like they're ending a 10-year run, and they were like, what? They've been doing it for 10 years? I'm like, yeah, 10 years, like, and for like 8 of them every week, and that is never not impressive to whoever I say that to. Like, that is a badge of honor in my humble opinion. I've never seen anyone just look at that and not be like just completely wowed by that fact.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Brett, it cannot be stated how important you are to the show, or overstated how important you are to the show, rather. You've been here since practically day one.
Yeah.
One of my best friends in the entire world. And
Right, I got you, brother.
Your friendship and niceness is infectious, and it's been much appreciated. A literal legend of this show that 20 people listen to.
Man, I'm only as good as my friends. And to quote a really weird, to make it awkward, to make it a real weird quote from Jack Nicholson, "You make me want to be a better man."
There it is.
The whole crew, Joe, Colin, Alex, JR, like you're my core four. Yeah,
just like the Yankees.
What?
It's a sports reference, which is what people tune into this show for, right?
Yep.
So, anyways,
nice.
It's been an absolute blast doing this, especially with the both of you.
Hell yeah.
Over the last 10 years, Brett, you've been it's always been great. It's always like, oh hey, what's Brett doing? I relied on it too much.
No.
When Alex was like, hey, what do you think about this? I'm like, what's Brett doing?
If you ever don't you ever feel that way? Because I will tell you right now, like I've never, not once ever in the history of me knowing you have I ever been like, fuck, I gotta go on OMV. It's never happened. It's never happened in the history of eternity.
It's like a cozy blanket. It's a nice security blanket is recording a podcast with Brett. It's low stress.
Right.
I can just chat with my buddy who also happens to make really neat things. Yeah. Who also has an extensive knowledge of cryptids and steampunk and just really unique things. So
yeah, it's just a crippling sense of anxiety and a bunch of rejection sensitivity. Man, you're golden.
There's been plenty of times where I've felt the guilt of like, I think we're bothering these people. Like,
yep.
No.
Like, do we just do a justice, or like, do we guilt someone into having to hang out with us for an hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah.
On behalf, yeah. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of a lot of people. Shut up. Like, no, that's never the case. Everyone loves everyone loves you guys. Like, it's been a joy listening, and it's it's just been a blast. Like, it's been super fun. And I can't wait until the next cool thing that we all get to do at some point, whatever that may be.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. I mean, hey, someone's getting married soon, so
yeah,
that's me.
That's Alex.
Oh, crap!
And I've been given a blade, so I think I have some responsibilities.
You guys, I think I'm gonna stab the best man. Oh wait,
that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah,
he's got one too. So
it's the ceremonial stabbing, and then Brett ends it by stabbing himself with his own.
Yeah, blood sacrifice.
No, it's that. And if I gain too much power, you guys all have to stab me at the same time. To stop
me. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Once the tweed suit hits, it's he's gonna go mad. All right. We should probably. My cats are scratching at the door because their automatic feeder is about to go off, and they know it. Which is typically our sign to end.
Understood.
But it's been great. Congratulations again on the Kickstarter. Congrats on making neat stuff, and I'm excited to see you again. I have seen Brett.
Yeah.
Since this, it was like I'd seen most people at least once in passing at a distance sometimes, but I hadn't seen Brett. Just for extenuating circumstances since COVID began, but I was able to finally see him in person over the holidays, and it was very nice.
Yeah, man, it was a joy.
Albeit short, but it still happened.
That it did.
I don't know why I'm telling this story.
It's fine. Hey, and but thank you guys once again for having me on all these years as well. Like, I just want to extend the thanks. Like, it's been, I'm so happy. And also, if you're listening, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
From a legend who got his start in episode 3.
Yeah.
Thank you from the bottom of hearts and all that kind of stuff.
I think I finally got the hang of it. Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. We're getting there.
Yep.
But All right,
Cool.
we're officially rambling and just saying the same things over and over again. So I'm gonna end it.
Yep.
Go back Brett's Kickstarter, and that's about it. So, man, this feels weird. Like it's the last time Brett's ever. Anyways, that's gonna do it. So until next time, I've been JR.
I'm Alex.
If I don't say it, it doesn't end. And I'm Brett Kelley.
I would just cut out one of the 42 other times that Brett said I'm Brett Kelley and just hack it into the end. Well, I'll just cut out all 42 of them. Oh God!
Make a
now I have an
supercut.
idea.
That's going to last 3 minutes.
Oh no! Jeez.
All right, that's it. And this has been episode 446 of Opinions May Vary. Hey everyone, if you liked that episode, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Opinions May Vary, and on Twitter and YouTube at OMV Podcast. You can also find us on Spotify or on our very own website at omvpodcast.com. And if you're looking for merch, we have stickers and pins available over at omvpodcast.bigcartel.com while supplies last. As always, thank you so much for listening. Let us know what you thought in the comments, and we will see you next time.